Hey everyone! All right, I'm trying this out for the first time. I'm bringing a homie on board with me on Facebook Live. Let's see, it told me I could invite someone, but then I did and it didn't happen. So let's see, I'm going to try to add on Stephanie Burg, who's one of my Embody teachers in Charleston, South Carolina. And today we're just going to chat for a few minutes together. Oh, look. Hi, Yasmin. Hi, Patrick. So we're just going to chat for a few minutes about why Embody Teacher Training might be a good fit for you. Because if there's anyone who is going to know whether it is or not, it is Stephanie, who's been through the training. So let's do it. I'm going to add her. Bring Stephanie. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Oh, look, yay!
Hi!
You're
so fancy.
I know. I'm like, I see you in this little, this is all new technology to me. So I see you in a little teeny tiny window. And I imagined in my head that we would be like side by side, but I guess this is the new Facebook technology.
We made it.
We made it. We were just, for those of you tuning in, we were texting beforehand and I was like, Stephanie, my hair is oily. I'm a mess. Like, I haven't made it home on time. There's a moving truck outside my window. She's like, there's a band playing in the background. So we were figuring it all out, but we are determined to be here and to talk about teacher training, Embody Teacher Training. Hi, Zelda. So, Stephanie, thanks so much for being here, especially on a Sunday. That's serious commitment and devotion. So I really, really appreciate it. And I'm just going to introduce Stephanie to you guys. For those of you who might not know Stephanie, she is a board certified nutrition and lifestyle coach. And tell us a little bit, what's the profile of person that you work with?
I work with women, high achieving, ambitious women who really have had success in basically every area of their life except for their body, right? They're like always struggling with their body. They can't seem to figure it out, and can tend to be really disconnected in the go, and pushing and striving that, up until a certain point has worked really well for them until it doesn't, and their body is starting to show the signs of that. I also work with a lot of emotional eating, and you and I similarly work in this sort of realm of embodiment, just kind of going about it in different ways.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about your journey with Embody, because you've gotten to be a student and now you get to be a teacher, and you've taught a few classes as a teacher, which is really, really awesome. So let's start off talking a little bit about your journey as a student. So when was the first time that you took, I actually need to remember this myself, when was the first time you took an Embody class?
So Nadia and I were in a mastermind together, and I feel really fortunate to have been alongside Nadia in the creation of Embody, which has been so cool to watch. Nadia and I are really great friends outside of the training as well. And I guess the first time I took a class was in Hawaii with you. You taught, your first one was in Bali, but I had a little Bali belly, so I had to miss it. Yeah. So Hawaii, and God, what year was that? 2015.
I don't remember anymore. It's all a blur. Hi guys, I love everyone that's joining. Hi Emily. Hi Lamise.
Oh,
hi
hey.
Libby.
Hey Carol.
Oh, send us some hearts if you're watching. We'll take them. Some Sunday lovin'. Woohoo. Okay, cool. So first class was in Hawaii, and tell us a little bit about how you felt after class.
Okay. So this might be a little bit of a long-winded answer, but my background is actually in professional ballet. So I was a professional ballet dancer for over a decade and spent, my whole life, training in that world. And as I retired from my professional career, I was really sort of missing this like sense of freedom, that I would receive from dancing, even though it was in a very controlled medium. And so the first time I took Embody, I was like, holy shit, this class is amazing. Not only is it, guided enough that I don't feel like freaked out and just like left to my own devices and like, what am I supposed to be doing? I feel awkward. There was enough sort of guidance around what to do, but also enough freedom to explore the way my body uniquely wanted to move. And that, I mean, it's pretty hard for me to put that into words, but obviously freedom comes to mind. Joy. There's really, so with Embody, there's such a journey that we go on in the hour class. And really, dance is such a medicine for so many people. It's like the soul's medicine. And so many people really have a connection to dance. And a lot of people, have taken dance classes throughout their lives, but then will just like I had, kind of lost touch with the expressive piece of it, and often feel, it can feel a little bit nerve-wracking to step into a class and try something new. But this class, not only did I feel really held, right, like very safe and guided, but also encouraged to explore and sort of create freedom, but safe enough to, like, if I didn't want to do something or didn't want to try something, I could just be myself and do whatever I wanted to do. So yeah, afterwards, getting back to that, after the class, I just felt such an experience of joy and freedom within my body that I hadn't felt in a really long time. And I would say maybe ever, with ballet, like I shared, my background in ballet, I was always in someone else's voice, like someone else's language, someone else's creation or choreography, in which I was like molding myself into their vision, and not really given the opportunity to kind of let myself go and just be wild, or be, more restrained, or be sensual, or be, in touch with the innocent side of myself in the way I wanted to move, which, I don't think you can, I don't know what else to say about how powerful that experience is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It is really, that was so much of the incentive behind creating a class like this, was that it's really rare, that we get a place where we get to slow down and tune in to what it is that our body desires to do, how she desires to express herself. Mm-hmm. And so even when we do go to dance classes, and I love choreography dance classes, don't get me wrong, but it's true. You're sort of on someone else's agenda. You're trying to do choreography that may or may not speak to where your body is that day. And so sometimes you can walk away feeling less expressed. And the idea is to have a place where we can actually tune into, how do I feel? And then how do I use my body to move that feeling through me and to express it to the outside world, or even just to myself, but to release it, to alchemize it through my cells. And so, that's really the therapeutic piece of it, right? Is like, it is just being able to tap into this thing where we don't usually have that experience in a lot of places, where we can really tune in. And meditation is one of those places, but it's seated, so we're still restricted with not being able to move. Whereas the idea is, with Embody, is we're trying to get into that same place of presence. Hi, Joelle. Hi, Zelda. It's so fun to have a little party
Beth
here.
and Kelly are here. Kelly's actually taken the class here in Charleston. So.
Oh, amazing.
Hi, ladies. Yeah.
I wonder if we see different people come up, like, depending on who is our friends. Anyway, I have no idea. This is all new.
It's all new.
I love that this is like, we have all these amazing platforms where, like, I literally have like people I know in Lebanon who are tuning in right now. People, like, it's great. Anyways, so going back to Embody, what was it that had you decide to become a teacher?
Okay, so number one, kind of speaking to what you were just sharing, like having a way to move emotions through our bodies, or just like really connect more deeply to our intuition through that body's voice. I feel like with the way that our culture is nowadays, where so much of us are disconnected from our bodies, we live life from the neck up, like truly. I mean, there's so much emphasis and glorifying of the mind, that having the opportunity to move emotions through our body is just priceless, I guess is the word that comes to mind, but also just invaluable in terms of connecting to our intuition in terms of really creating the lives that we want to, it all comes from being in an embodied state, right? And so I was finding with my own work, like I shared, with my background in ballet, like I love that. Dance is so truly my soul's medicine, but ballet is not something that is very accessible to most people, and a lot of people just don't even want to try it. But that was the way that I found myself to be expressed through dance for all of those years. And so with Embody, not only did I find a profound impact on the way I experienced my body, but also in a way that really allowed me to share that with other women, right? So it seems like a very natural expression or extension of my work, right? Because I was sort of struggling to find a way to integrate movement that is so much a part of like my gift in this world. It's something that I've spent so much of my life like honing and cultivating skills around, but in ballet specifically, right? And so this seemed to be a natural extension of that in a way that was accessible, like I said, to more people, but that also helped them to access their unique body's voice, connect to their intuition, and have that sort of like skill of moving emotions, particularly when things get a little stagnant or stuck. I don't think there's enough emphasis on the body's sort of way to create clarity in spaces of confusion, or to connect to our intuition when we're having a difficult time trying to figure out what's next, or to figure out what it is that we want to eat. So many of my clients struggle with food, and it's like really connecting back to the body, and the body's wisdom is invaluable, and it's so much related to getting in tune with the body through movement. So it seems like a natural next step.
Yeah. And that's, similar. I got into that journey myself through, well, it started with embodiment, but then when I got into health coaching, and that's where we're sort of very similar, it's like I really tapped into how important it is to help people get back into their bodies so they can actually cultivate a connection that's deep enough so that their body is leading them. Because you and I are not leading. We're not telling people you need to eat more broccoli, right? Like that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
Right? Or you need to be happy, right? Which is what I feel. That's how I feel like when I hear like, positive thinking or mantras and stuff. I'm like, I feel like there's this like pressure to feel like happy and optimistic, which isn't always my reality. So it's more about like letting your body lead, and then having that connection so that you can alchemize on your own. If you don't want to feel, sadness, you can move it into joy, or move it into at least space in your body. It might not be from like happy to sad or sad to happy. So there's so much, it's so empowering to be connected to your body. And that's part of why we're so excited to be teaching this class. But also, I think it's a great program for people even who don't want to become teachers. And I'm curious if you can speak to that a little bit. Like what part of it felt to you like it spoke to your own journey and deepening into your own relationship with your body, not just about sharing this with other people in classes?
Mm-hmm. Specifically the training?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So that's a great question. I think anytime we take a new approach to anything, whenever we're learning something new, it sort of raises our vibration, in such a way that kind of, I don't know, makes it easier to have that extra like sparkle or twinkle in life. It's like it sort of helps us to be more engaged in other areas of our life as well. And so, approaching movement in this way was for me, obviously like I'm a seasoned pro when it comes to like codified dance mediums, like ballet, obviously, but approaching movement in this way, that was really more coming from a feminine energy, coming from more of like inquiry and seeking and connecting to, again, my body's unique voice, and just realizing how connecting to that voice actually created greater trust and freedom within myself and within my body, my relationship to my body, and also just how I sort of moved through the world, right? So on the one hand, it's like I went in with the intention of, teaching this class, but what I received from the training was so much more in that it helped me to deepen into my own connection and relationship to my body.
I love it.
And the women the other women were amazing that were there as well too. You attract such like awesome women, and that was really great to connect with them and to learn from them too, to learn from their journeys and their ahas, and and see them having similar awarenesses come through around their own relationship to themselves.
Yeah, my intention and the reason why the training is sort of set up so that it's a good chunk of it is online, but there's also an in-person piece, is that there's something awesome about both, right? So it's really great in order to keep, the price point lower and not have it be completely like just inaccessible.
Nowadays, nobody says anything right.
Haley, hi, Haley. So Haley's one of our other teachers. She's in Fairfield, Connecticut. And they actually Haley's now doing weekly classes in Fairfield. So, and Stephanie has a class in February and another class coming up in March. All of these, by the way, if anyone is interested in taking class in either of these, either in Fairfield, Connecticut or in Charleston, South Carolina, just go on embodydanceclass.com /schedule. So we always have all the listings of all, and we've got other cities too, so check them out. But what I was going to say, inaccessibility. Yeah. So I did the two pieces because really the online piece allows, even we've got like right now, like last round, we had someone from the UK come. This round, we have some interest, even from Australia, like fingers crossed, and some other places around the world. And the idea is that you can do most of this online. We're meeting together online, but then there is just a one weekend, a nice long weekend where we get to meet together that feels a little bit like a retreat. I mean, it's definitely more of a training because that's what we're here to do. But it's great because we do still circle in sisterhood. And like Stephanie was saying, there's a lot of back and forth where you get to experience other people's teaching as well. So it can just start to inspire you and inspire your style of teaching and so on and so forth. So would you say, Stephanie, that your biggest shift in training was a deepening into your body? Was there anything in particular that stood out for you that you wanted to share with us? You're getting me with these good questions.
There is so much, so one of the things about Embody that I love is this sort of journey that it takes us on as we're in the class, which as a student can seem very simple, but to experience the intention behind every single piece, that also, I was just so inspired by your creation, like the way that you really like put so much thought and so much thought and love and care into each part of it, and to know that it is very intentional, the journey that you go on within the class. So I think part of what I realized through that was the incredible sort of responsibility, gift, and opportunity that one has when they're holding space for a group of women in this way, and particularly the energy that is created from within the group, but also like, we're all contributing to the experience. And that's been my experience with actually teaching classes. Like every single time, it's just remarkable what happens when a group of women come together and to sort of experience I keep saying experience because it is such an experience, but to have that sort of like exploration from within, and to have the sort of breakthroughs and the movement of different emotions in your own body, and then to be a part of like an entire group of women that are also having those experiences too, and also having new awarenesses and breakthroughs happening along the way. And then the energy that is created as a result of that, like, big pot of soup, if you will. I mean, again, like, there's not really much that I can't put words to it. It's really incredible. So it's such a gift to be able to guide that, and to be a part of it. So it's sort of just like this reciprocity, right? It's like giving and receiving all the way around times infinity, on and on forever and ever. So yeah, it's like an individual journey, and it's also a group experience too. Yeah. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, it totally does. And I love the way that you put that, like, because it really is. There is this duality a lot in the class, where there is your own, you go internal, but then you're also held by the energy of a group of women who are all going through the same experience. And of course, a teacher who's holding ultimately the space. And then it's the same thing also with the amount of freedom versus guidance. So it's like, you're there where we will hold your hand until you feel like you can go and do your thing. And that's part of what the training is all about, is, and that's what makes it, I would say, different than maybe other movement instruction trainings, is that we're really working with how do you teach certain movements, make sure you're still working with the body and taking care of the body and honoring people's injuries and whatnot. And at the same time, taking them on this really beautiful emotional musical journey that we think of as like a moving meditation, and knowing, how to hold from afar at the same time while people go and do their own thing. So it's a really beautiful complement, I would say, to anyone who works as a coach, as a healer, as a guide of any sort. And that doesn't have to have any movement background at all, because it is so much more about holding space for a moving meditation and letting people, and we cover all that stuff in training anyways, if you're worried about it. But we had equal amounts in our last round of teachers. We had an equal amount of people who had never done any movement instruction at all, and then equal amounts of people who had been certified as a yoga instructor or fitness instructor of some sort, dance instructor. So you can come in with either. It's totally fine. And I think, and I'm curious if you have any thoughts that you wanted to add to this, Stephanie, around, there's pros and cons to coming in with either. Like, either way, you're going to have a journey of working on the pieces that are most important to you, that you feel you need a little bit more time with. And it's just going to sort of vary whether you've come from a movement background or not.
Yeah. And ultimately, I think, anytime you're going to like lead a class, maybe the scariest thing that you face is like being in front of a class, which you also have the experience and opportunity of doing that within the training too, which is awesome. And, otherwise it's such a clear, it's so much clear instruction on your part, Nadia, that, even if you have never taught a movement class before, you will feel totally equipped, with everything that you learn. So.
Yeah. And I will say a lot of that is that I have myself done a variety of movement certifications and trainings, and I've sort of picked and, so I have that experience of, picking and choosing what I thought worked and what didn't, ultimately. So there's that. And then, of course, also the holding space piece as a coach, which is equally as important for teaching Embody. What has been like your favorite, like now that you're teaching, is there a specific moment like after class or maybe even during class where that just you want to highlight that you really loved that made it all worth it?
Yeah. So just to be like totally frank, I think, anytime you're embarking upon something new, or anytime you're teaching or leading a group of people, there's always a moment of like, is this resonating? Like, is this really landing? Like, are they into this? And sort of like, okay, getting out of my own way, just like letting the experience take take place. But those moments when you see women really like having this experience of complete freedom within their bodies, and also just like joy, like experiencing true complete joy as well. You know, and sort of seeing it work, like seeing it work in action, seeing the class work, for each person individually, or these people having these emotional reactions in such a beautiful way. It's running the gamut of, you know, any emotion that you can have. And then afterwards, like the feedback that I've gotten, again, like back to like, is this landing? Is this resonating? But every single time people, you know, that the experience that they have, and then sharing that afterwards, like, that was amazing. One woman said, I feel like I just had a therapy session. And it's like, well, you kind of did. You know, she really felt that sort of like movement and release, like of the emotional body as well as the physical body. Yeah. So yeah, just like watching it work in action. You know, I think that dance is so powerful in terms of that, you know, the as a medium in terms of like being able to really have people feeling expressed, but in this particular class format, you know, it's just beautiful, you know, because there isn't the choreography to get in the way, and there isn't the choreography to like make you feel like shit about yourself if you don't get it, or if you're on the wrong foot, you know.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Awesome. So, well, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
I'm curious why, you know, what would you say to someone that you were recommending Embody Teacher Training to?
I would say to go for it if you're feeling ready to do it, if you're feeling called to do it, to go for it, because Nadia, you know, Nadia is one of my favorite people and one of my closest friends, and just like full and complete trust of this woman to guide you and lead you and help you to feel really equipped and ready to go for it. You know, throughout the course of the training, it's 12 weeks now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you have so much time and dedicated attention to really like diving deep into your own experience, and also the experience of facilitating this this movement for other people too. So I'd say just go for it. You won't regret it. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I will say, you know, in all the ups and downs and the roller coasters of entrepreneurship, what my guiding compass is having that moment at the end of class where we get back in circle. Sometimes it happens during class too. I'll have like these moments where I see people just in their sometimes it's in their bliss, sometimes it's in their rage, but like it's the rage that they haven't gotten out in a really long time. And so I'm equally happy about it. And so we sit, but usually at the end of class, we end class. I want to say hi to Vicky. Hi, Nadia. Oh, Nadia is like a fellow teacher / fellow student.
I've got a few more people on my end too.
Oh, awesome.
Carrie, Mariano, Patrick.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Feel free to send us hearts. We never say no to those. So, oh my God, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh yes, my compass. My compass is always really being able to see these moments where women are liberated from whatever constriction is in their body, and they're having this moment where they're like, oh my God, I can finally sink into whatever emotion is true to me in that moment. And it is phenomenal to watch, and I believe it is this embodiment piece is actually the key, the portal to our full potential, to our full power as women. I believe that by us being able to embody our full range, we're then also able to alchemize anything into something else. It means going through, because we're always going to have like good times, bad times, rough days, you know, blissful days, celebratory days. And being able to really feel that fully in your body is the difference between feeling, you know, ready to take on life and not having something just like squash you down, and being in a place where you feel helpless, right? And so I'm not saying there isn't amazing information out there and there's 100 other tools, but obviously being that I work in the world of embodiment, I really truly believe that it's the number one tool out there to get you fully present in your life. If we're not connected with this vessel, this like that we have in this human life, then, you know, we might as well be. I remember one client emailed me one day and she was like, I'm just so grateful that I'm not a single cell amoeba. And I loved it because I was like, oh my God, she's so right. Like we have arms and legs and eyes and ears that get to like feel music and feel like stuff pulsating through us. And like single cell amoebas don't. And not to put down the single cell amoebas. Everyone has their role in this universe. However, I feel really great. And hey, I may be reincarnated as a single cell amoeba. This karma. But, you know, right now I'm so happy to have what I have and to be able to experience life, the ups and the downs through this physical body, through all of my like senses. Yeah. And so that's part of the experience of embodiment too, is to be able to have that. Yeah. So if that's been something that, you know, you've been desiring, for anyone that's listening or watching, you know, embody, whether you can get yourself to a class with one of these teachers, whether it's coming and doing the training with me, which does not require you to teach. I mean, the upside is you do get a certification and you can go and teach at any point in time, but there is zero pressure for you to have to teach at the end of it. So think of it like, you know, yoga teacher training. You've got about 50% of any yoga teacher training that you go into, 50% of the people are not actually wanting to teach yoga, but they're there to really deepen their experience of embodiment. And I feel like embody teacher training is very similar in that way. It's like, you know, some people want to use it just for their own experience. Some want to use it to teach weekly classes like Haley is in Fairfield. Some people want to do it once a month. Some people just want to use it to teach at their own events and their own retreats. Whatever it might be for you, highly recommend applying. You have nothing to lose. There's no pressure or commitment to actually join the training. But we have a deadline on Wednesday, so February 15th. If you want to apply, you just go to I'll also put it in the comments below, but it's embodydanceclass.com/certification. And then all the information's there. The big button to apply is there. And then after that, we can hop on the phone and talk about it even more to see if it's even a right fit. But that's where I would start. So take a look and see, you know, either take one of those classes. We also have Embody at Home classes that you can find on embodydanceclass.com as a way to just sample what the class is like. And if you want more of a community feel, even though I can't get into your home this week, what I am doing is a dance-a-thon this week, starting tomorrow. We're doing a dance-a-thon in my Facebook group. It's my private Facebook group called Embody Tribe. You can join it. The dance-a-thon is free. It's a fun thing to do either way, but at least it'll give you a chance to get a sense of whether or not this is something you might want to do further and experience with other women and guide other women too. Oh, Vicky's saying she loved my class at Soul Camp. Thank you. Thanks so much. It was so great having you. And yeah, it was just absolutely wonderful to get to witness you in that experience. So basically, there's so many different ways. With this dance-a-thon, just join the Embody Tribe on Facebook. You can do that right now. And every day we're going to be doing some dancing prompts, and we're going to be sharing some videos of us dancing based on the prompts. So it's a great way to get a little bit out of your comfort zone, but still stay in it in that, like, you know, we're in a safe space. So it's a private Facebook group. No one else, like, you know, the weird cousin is not going to see it. You know, yeah, you get to, you know, that you are held in a safe space where you're being witnessed in your full expression with other women who are doing the same thing. So join us. I would love to have you. My dream has always been to have a global dance party, working towards that. Would love to have you at the dance-a-thon. What else? And it's open to anyone who identifies as woman. So that group is in general open to anyone who identifies as woman. Hi, Spencer. Hey, a fellow dancer. Okay, so I love it. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else. Is there any last thoughts that you had that you wanted to share, Stephanie, before we wrapped up?
You were speaking about sort of your belief in embodiment as a sort of vehicle to creating amazing lives and everything else in between, you know, for ourselves. And I really think that it's that's a really important piece, right? So if we can't like show up fully here with ourselves and in our bodies, it's hard for us to show up fully anywhere else, right? And I just think that having that deep and loving connection to our bodies is something that helps us to create the lives that we want. It really starts from within, and ripples outward. So it's important work. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you so much for spreading it. I love this. I love, like, there's nothing more fun. I've been talking about this on Insta stories a lot. The idea of passive, what did I call it? Passive social impact. I really love this idea where I can, and any of us can, right, start to help and just sort of bring in other people to help us on our mission. So we don't have to do it alone. And luckily for me, I have a beautiful Embody family, which is going to grow really soon to an even bigger family, and it's going to keep growing, where I have like wonderful people like you who are spreading that embodiment, love and experience throughout the US. And now we're going global too, because we've got someone in the UK and potentially someone in Australia soon. I really want an Australian. It's happening this round. Yeah, awesome. I want to see what Spencer said. Hold on, I'm going to open this up. I'm saying this work is so important for women to be doing. Yep, seeing a woman deeply connected to her physical body is magical. There you go. Yet another reason. Spencer gives us another reason to be embodied.
Thanks for that, Spencer.
It's true, right? The more a woman is really connected to herself and her pleasure, which means she's got to be connected to her body first. That truly is the biggest turn on, right? Mm-hmm. It is. And I always have clients who are coming to me and saying, you know, I want that je ne sais quoi, right? I want to walk into the room and feel like, you know, I have the ability to turn on when I want to and when I feel safe, that magnetic pull. And really that means we need to be able to tap into our own pleasure. And we have to start off by connecting to our body to do that. So I love that, Spencer. Thank you. Awesome. Cool. We're going to wrap this up because it's Sunday and I know Stephanie wants to go and play. I need to go back out into the sunshine because you guys, truth be told, I was sitting on the beach tanning right before this, and I was like, do I wash my hair? Do I not wash my hair? The answer was no, because when you're a New Yorker and you have one more week by the beach, you will be by the beach whenever you can. So I'm probably going to head back to the beach. But thank you so much for having this chat with me, and I'm hoping it was valuable to the people who are watching, even if it's just as a reminder, you know, to connect more to your body and your senses. If it means coming to join our dance-a-thon on the Facebook group tomorrow, remember it's Embody Tribe. I'll post it again down in the comments. Or whether it means, you know, going to embodydanceclass.com/certification and reading a little bit more about the teacher training. And maybe I got to speak to you this week, all week. I'm talking to ladies who might want to join us in this training coming up in March. All right. Thanks so much, love.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good rest of your Sunday.
You too. Enjoy the water. Beach.
Oh yeah, thanks. Well, I don't get to go in it. It's not that warm, but you know, I'm like pretend tanning, like in my clothes.
Well, enjoy it.
Thank you. All right, for everyone watching, thanks so much. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. PM me, find me on the Facebook tribe, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.